Hey, did you know that there are plenty of auto accident cases where you don't need a lawyer in order to get the case done and over with? I'm Brian Glass. I'm a lawyer in Virginia. I represent people who've been hurt in car crashes against insurance companies. And I'm here to tell you about the cases where you really don't need a lawyer or you don't need to hire a lawyer on your own. So I got three kinds of cases like that. And then I'm going to tell you about a bonus special kind of case at the end of this video where like maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm going to try to help you make some decisions about do I hire somebody or do I not. So the number one kind of case where you don't need a lawyer is where your car is damaged and you weren't anywhere near it. So every once in a while we get calls about somebody whose car was hit in a parking lot or they parallel parked and some driver ran into them. And the reality is you don't need a lawyer for this kind of case. We're not going to add any value to this case. The insurance companies are going to handle either repairing your car or totaling out your car. And if they total it out, there is some negotiation that might happen over the price. But by and large, the blue book value of the car is going to tell you what it was worth. You're entitled to the fair market value of the car. And there's really nothing that a lawyer is going to be able to do to leverage the value to anywhere near make up for the cost of hiring a lawyer in a case like that. So what you want to do if you have a case where your car is totaled and you're fighting with the insurance company over what the car is worth is number one, make sure they have the odometer readings correct. Make sure they have your year, make, and model correct. Sometimes with the VIN that doesn't happen. And then make sure that you get credit for all the options that you have on the car. If you have new tires or something, some kind of special thing that's not going to show up in their system that you put on the car, stereo system, like whatever it is, make sure you're getting credit for all of that. But after you've gotten credit for all of that, like it kind of is what it is, and the computer system is going to tell you what the case is worth. Now, if you have a very special, unique, like a classic car, 15-passenger souped-up van, something like that, okay, maybe you need to get it appraised by somebody who actually knows that industry, because there might not be a huge sample set of sales for that kind of vehicle. But by and large, for the mass market car, what the insurance company says it's worth is what it's worth. And no lawyer is going to increase the value significantly enough that it's going to make sense to pay them at all. Number two type of case where you don't need to hire a lawyer is the case where you're at fault. Now, there's a little bit of caveat to this, and I'll give it to you at the end. But this is why you have insurance coverage. If you're at fault for a crash, the insurance company is going to adjust your claim. They're going to deal with the other party's insurance carrier or deal with the other party's lawyer or deal with the other party directly, whatever. They're going to take care of negotiating and settling the case for you. And if it doesn't settle and you get sued, your insurance company is going to hire a lawyer to defend you. Now, the one caveat to that, you always have the right to your own private counsel. For 99.99% of cases, that's not going to make economic sense either. And you could talk to your insurance carrier. You could certainly get a consultation from a defense lawyer about whether you are the 0.001% that needs to hire somebody. But in my 15 years, I can think of maybe one case where I sued somebody, and in addition to the insurance defense lawyer, there was private counsel. So it rarely happens. By and large, this is why we have insurance coverage. This is why you pay your $1,000 every 6 months, is so that when you cause a crash, you have that protection. So if you're at fault, you probably don't need to hire a lawyer. Number three kind of case where you don't need a lawyer is if you were in a crash and you have property damage to the car but no medical care. Those cases, if the insurance company gives you anything for pain and suffering, it's a gift. But if you've gone without medical care because you weren't hurt, like great, good for you. You're not entitled to compensation for medical care or for lost earnings or for pain, suffering, and inconvenience. And no lawyer is going to change that. So if you're in a crash and you weren't hurt, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. You do not need an injury lawyer because you were not hurt. Bonus one is on the edge. I don't know if you need a lawyer or if you don't. And if you listen to this and you're wondering, do I need a lawyer or do I not? Feel free to give us a call. We will always do an evaluation of whether or not we can add value to your case. When I say evaluation, I cannot tell you over the phone what your case is worth. I haven't seen your medical bills. I haven't seen your records. Haven't talked in depth about the impact on your life. Anything would just be a wild guess as to what your case is worth. But I can tell you whether or not we can add value. If you had limited medical care, if you went to an emergency room, an urgent care, your primary care doctor, and you got better, in general, we're not going to add value to a case like that unless the insurance company is just saying, we don't believe you were hurt at all, we're not going to offer you anything. Okay, if that's the case, give us a call, we can help, right? If you had those things, urgent care, emergency room, primary care doctor, and some course of physical therapy, we can usually add some value to the case, either in terms of more dollars in your pocket or in terms of saving you the time, energy, and effort of becoming an expert in how does the insurance money flow, how do we maximize the settlement value, how do we extract as many dollars as we can from the insurance company and keep as much of it as we can. And really that's what my team is really good at. Getting money from insurance companies, giving it to clients, making it easy for clients along the way. We are not great for every case. We're not great if you're outside Virginia. But if you're in Virginia and you have a case where you're wondering, does it make sense for me to hire an injury lawyer or not, give us a call. First consultation is always free, and we will give you a 100% honest evaluation about whether or not we can help you.